Hey everyone, remember those late nights huddled around the radio listening to spooky stories? We're tapping into that same energy today.
But with a modern twist.
Right. We're diving deep into listener tales.
From the Morbid podcast.
Yeah. Specifically, episode 490.
Real people sharing real experiences.
And some are seriously creepy.
Chilling, even.
Sometimes real life is just way stranger than fiction.
And that's what we're dealing with today.
3 stories.
Captivating.
And unsettling.
If you're over 45 like us,
You'll feel a connection.
they take us back to simpler times.
Before smartphones.
And social media.
When life felt a bit slower.
Even with a BB gun pellet lodged in your skull.
Huh. Speaking of BB guns,
That's where we'll start.
Allison's story.
The time I got shot in the head and had no idea.
This one will make you laugh and gasp.
Maybe even check your own head for stray projectiles.
Allison's a great storyteller.
She's a teacher.
Maybe that's it.
She brings humor and self-awareness to scary situations.
Halloween night.
A college party.
A bit too much Ruby.
As she calls Rubinoff.
Picture yourself back then.
The energy, the costumes, the questionable decisions.
Oh, remember those days.
This particular night ends with Allison and her friends
Waiting for a cab.
on a chaotic street corner.
A mind-numbing sound.
Something hits her head.
Now,
Here's where it gets interesting.
shock.
Confusion,
Her brain
probably foggy from the Ruby.
convinces her,
It's just a beer bottle.
but then her friend,
Notices blood.
pouring from her skull.
Can you imagine?
The panic.
But Allison
Plus her heart.
is a college student.
On a mission.
Frozen peas.
Candy Crush Marathon.
Classic.
Fast forward a month.
The story takes a turn.
A friend notices something.
Protruding from her head.
They think it's a bug.
A tick, maybe. But no.
It's a BB gun pellet.
Lodged in her skull.
She had been shot.
And had no idea for weeks.
It could have ended tragically.
But fate, or maybe her height, intervened.
The doctor said if she'd been taller,
The pellet could have hit her temple.
fatal consequences. It makes you think.
How many near misses have we had?
It's chilling,
Life is fragile.
but sometimes even terrifying experiences have a humorous edge.
And then there's the mystery.
Who shot Allison?
And why?
Random violence.
Or a motive?
These questions haunt her.
Years later.
Makes you wonder.
Has anything unexplained ever happened to you?
A strange coincidence.
A feeling of being watched.
Those questions keep us up at night.
Makes us question reality itself.
Speaking of questioning reality,
Let's move on to Veronica.
her story.
Sleep paralysis, demons, and self-care.
Veronica's a doctoral student
A mother.
and a self-proclaimed spooky bee.
Not afraid of the dark side of life.
She embraces her complexities,
Her intellect.
her fascination with the unexplained,
And she's open about her struggles.
with sleep paralysis.
Absolutely terrifying.
For those who don't know,
Sleep paralysis is that feeling of being conscious,
but unable to move or speak,
often with hallucinations.
and dread,
Veronica describes feeling suffocated.
sensing a presence.
Even hearing her name called
Imagine waking up paralyzed.
with a shadowy figure over you.
Nightmares.
But for Veronica, it's reality.
And here's where it gets interesting.
She believes these episodes,
Are linked to stress and negative energy?
especially during a time of abusive relationships,
The connection between our mental state.
and these paranormal experiences.
Could our fears and anxieties manifest this way?
It's a question worth considering.
But Veronica's story isn't just about fear.
It's about resilience
Finding ways to cope.
and learn
She sees these episodes.
as reminders to prioritize self-care,
To set boundaries.
to cultivate inner peace.
Powerful message.
We can empower ourselves even when facing fear.
That brings us to our final tale.
A family mystery,
Decades long.
a cross-country road trip,
A twist you won't see coming.
May's story, a spooky nanny and a mystery solved,
Narrated by Roxy.
a 90s girl
Who, at 12?
uncovers a family secret that changes everything.
It's about family, loss, and truth.
It all starts with the discovery.
That the man she thought was her father,
Was it?
her real father,
Not exactly father of the year material,
abandoned the family when she was a baby.
but through letters,
Roxy connects with her grandmother,
May.
who longs to be in her life.
Hey, is that missing piece?
Unconditional love and acceptance.
Their bond is strong.
May is determined to meet her.
But then tragedy strikes,
May dies.
falling down an elevator shaft.
Roxy's reaction.
Laughter.
It's jarring, but she explains,
It was her way of coping.
with the shock and grief,
Grief can manifest in unexpected ways.
especially for young people.
Who might not have the tools to process loss.
despite the tragedy.
Roxy is determined to meet her grandmother.
Even if it's in spirit.
She uses the plane tickets May bought her,
To attend the funeral in Washington.
carrying May's ashes.
In a box on her lap.
A truly morbid detail
The road trip becomes a pilgrimage.
of grief, discovery, and bonding.
She connects with her Aunt Sam.
A lifelong friend.
It's a reminder that family can be found in unexpected places.
And shared experiences, even loss, can create bonds.
But as years pass,
Roxy questions May's death,
the elevator incident,
shrouded in mystery.
the faulty elevator,
May's boyfriend vanishes.
a suspiciously low settlement,
They hold a seance
hoping to connect with May.
and find closure.
Now, seances aren't for everyone.
But Roxy's descriptions are chilling.
Rosewater and cigarette smoke,
The planchette moving.
the feeling of May's presence.
Goosebumps.
What they uncover is shocking.
And heartbreaking.
May reveals she was murdered,
Hit on the head.
pushed down the elevator shaft.
But May's spirit is at peace.
She doesn't want vengeance.
She's happy.
That brings closure to Roxy and Sam.
Even though the murderer is unpunished.
A powerful message.
Peace amidst tragedy.
Forgiveness over anger,
Roxy never knew May in life.
but feels her presence and guidance.
She carries a locket with May's ashes.
A reminder of the grandmother she never had,
The enduring power of love and connection.
transcending time and limitations.
So there you have it.
3 listener tales from Morbid.
Glimpses into the complexities of human experience.
Humor, resilience, tragedy,
And a touch of the supernatural.
familiar and unsettling. Which story resonates with you most?
Allison's brush with death.
Veronica's sleep paralysis and self-care.
Or Roxy's cross-country journey and the seance.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Head to our website.
Share your reactions
Your own spooky encounters.
or theories about May's murder.
And if you're enjoying this deep dive,
Subscribe to our podcast
for more fascinating discussions,
and explorations of the human experience
we'll be back
to delve deeper into these tales
to uncover the common threads.
and the lessons we can learn.
You know, as we were discussing those stories, it struck me
What's that?
how each of them really highlights the resilience of the human spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
Allison walking around for weeks with a BB gun pellet in her head.
Completely oblivious.
Her mind just refused to accept it.
It's like when you lock yourself out of your house.
And you spend the whole day convinced you left a spare key with a neighbor.
Oh, yeah. And then you realize you didn't,
Our brains just believe what's convenient sometimes.
even if it makes no sense.
It's not just denial, though.
Right.
Allison's story shows the power of distraction, too.
Frozen peas and Candy Crush.
Instead of dwelling on the injury,
Maybe a little obliviousness is a coping mechanism.
to protect ourselves from fear.
Could be.
And then there's Veronica,
Facing a different kind of challenge.
chilly paralysis.
Terrifying.
But she functioned.
Thrived even.
Got her doctorate, built a family.
It's inspiring.
Her story really resonated with me.
Me too. You know, I had those vivid nightmares.
When you were going through that stressful time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing how our minds work.
And Veronica's approach is so inspiring.
Turning it into a call for self-care.
Prioritizing well-being.
Turning a terrifying experience into empowerment.
Exactly.
And then Roxy.
Losing her grandmother before they even met.
Heartbreaking.
But she embraced the journey.
The road trip with her grandma's ashes.
The power of family.
Even in unconventional forms.
And that bond with her Aunt Sam.
From that trip.
Powerful stuff.
Shared experiences create bonds.
Even through loss.
These stories also show how we interact with the unknown.
The things we can't explain.
Like the mystery of Allison's shooter.
We can't always understand life's curveballs.
Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Right.
And Veronica's sleep paralysis.
Straddling that line between psychological and paranormal.
Our minds create experiences that feel real.
Even if they defy explanation,
Like when you're half asleep and hear a noise.
your mind goes wild.
Our imaginations run free.
Especially in that space between awake and asleep.
Exactly.
And then Roxy's seance.
Deep into the supernatural.
Whether you believe or not,
Her descriptions are eerie.
the smells, the sensations, May's presence.
It makes you question what we know about life and death.
I'm a bit of a skeptic, but I can't help but be fascinated.
By the possibility of more to the universe.
Have you ever had experiences that made you question your beliefs?
About the afterlife?
Yeah. Or communicating with spirits.
I've had experiences I couldn't explain.
That made you wonder.
If there are forces beyond our understanding.
Like when you think of someone and then run into them.
Or a dream that feels so real.
Those glimpses into the unknown.
They make you wonder.
They do.
That's what makes these stories so compelling.
Our curiosity about life and death,
The things we can't control.
beyond the spooky and the mysteries,
These stories remind us of intuition.
that gut feeling,
When something's not right.
even if you can't explain it.
Like Allison's delayed reaction,
Maybe she knew deep down.
but ignored the signals.
Like when you ignore your gut feeling about a business deal.
And lose money.
It's amazing how we resist our instincts.
Even when they're trying to protect us.
And Veronica's sleep paralysis.
An internal alarm system.
For self-care and boundaries.
She learned to listen.
Even though it was terrifying.
Our bodies and minds communicate.
In creative ways.
We don't always understand the language.
And Roxy's intuition
Led them to the truth about May.
they felt something was off.
And trusted that feeling.
Sometimes the most important truths are hidden.
It takes intuition and persistence.
To uncover them
But what's also fascinating
is the complexity of family secrets.
Roxy's discovery of her father and May's past
The layers of unspoken truths.
that shape our lives.
Every family has a skeleton in the closet.
Sometimes they come tumbling out.
Those revelations can be liberating and unsettling.
We re-examine our identity,
Our relationships.
the stories we tell ourselves,
It's like piecing together a puzzle.
with missing pieces.
Sometimes the missing pieces are the most crucial.
For understanding ourselves and our families.
Makes you wonder what secrets are in your own family.
Stories you want to know more about.
Mysteries to unravel.
It's a natural desire.
To trace our roots and understand our stories
But what's also beautiful,
is how these stories offer hope.
and a reminder of love and connection.
Allison finds solace in her friends and family.
Veronica builds a life of love and purpose.
Roxy finds peace, knowing May is happy and watching over her.
Love transcends time and limitations.
It makes you think about your own impact on the world.
The stories you'll leave behind.
It's a profound question.
What will people say about us?
What values will we pass on?
As we wrap up,
I keep thinking everyone has a story.
and those stories can have a ripple effect.
We've heard stories of survival, resilience, and love.
We've explored the human psyche,
The boundaries of reality.
the complexities of family and secrets,
These stories have challenged us,
entertained us.
left us with questions.
And maybe that's the point.
The pursuit of knowledge and sharing experiences,
It's an ongoing journey,
one we take together.
one story at a time.
So pay attention to the stories around you.
Listen to the voices,
Seek new perspectives.
embrace the mystery.
And share your own stories.
You never know who needs to hear them.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep sharing.
Because through sharing,
We understand ourselves and each other.
that's the heart of the deep dive.
Exactly. Time can really play tricks on us.
It's true.
Allison with a bullet in her head for weeks.
Yeah, no,
Our perceptions can be so skewed.
especially with shock or trauma.
It's like time slowed down for her.
Frozen peas and Candy Crush.
Our experience of time is so subjective.
Influenced by our emotions.
Like that car accident you told me about.
Years ago.
Yeah, everything in slow motion.
It felt that way, even though it was probably seconds.
And Veronica's story adds another layer to time.
How so?
She's come so far from her past.
New life, love, stability,
But those echoes linger.
inner sleep paralysis.
It's like those traumas are imprinted on her.
resurfacing in these terrifying ways.
Does time really heal all wounds?
Or do some scars just fade while others stay with us?
It's a big question.
It is.
And then Roxy's story spanning decades.
The past shaping the present,
The mystery of May's death.
the unanswered questions,
It casts a shadow over them.
influencing their life.
It's like when you found those letters from your grandfather.
The ones that revealed a different side of him,
Changed my whole perspective on him.
those discoveries can be enlightening and unsettling.
They make us confront our narratives.
It's about our families and ourselves.
Realizing they're incomplete, maybe even deceptive.
But there's beauty in those moments, too.
How so?
They remind us the past isn't gone.
It lives on in us.
And for Roxy, the past brings connection.
Even it's shrouded in mystery.
Her relationship with May still guides her.
Even in death, we leave a legacy.
It makes you think about your own impact.
The stories you'll leave behind.
What will people say about us?
What will we pass on?
As we wrap up these listener tales,
What are your final thoughts?
everyone has a story to tell.
And those stories have a ripple effect.
We've heard stories of survival,
Resilience. We've explored the mind.
the boundaries of reality.
The complexities of family and secrets.
These stories challenged us, entertained us.
Left us with questions.
And maybe that's the biggest takeaway.
This pursuit of knowledge, this sharing of
This
experiences,
is a journey we take together.
one story at a time.
So pay attention to the stories around you.
Listen to the voices you hear.
Seek new perspectives.
Embrace the mystery.
Share your own stories.
You never know who needs to hear them.
Until next time,
Keep exploring.
keep questioning.
Keep sharing.
Through sharing.
We understand ourselves and each other.
That's the heart of the deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone.